Let's go boom. Let's go boom. Boom. Let's go boom. Let's go boom. Boom.
Hello, IMTS 2022. I'm Mitch Free here with Greg Weirich from KGK. Looking forward to having a great conversation. Follow us with the hashtag #WeAreAllCreators. Hey, out there. And yes, and KGK represents
SEIBU.
Yeah, exactly. And so, Greg, welcome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's been a great show. Lots of people. I'm glad that now that COVID's over, that everybody can return.
It's good to see
all
people.
the familiar faces,
Right.
that we haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah.
So it's great to be back.
Right. And so you guys are here. Did you bring a lot of machines with you?
Yes. We brought 2 machines, and then we have an Aruoa ERC-80 robot
Okay.
that we're loading 32 pallets. It can be configured with 64 pallets. It's not quite the same as a graphite mill. So you might have hundreds of pallets for all the different graphite sizes.
Okay.
So for your electrodes. But
Good.
for the wire, it cuts a lot slower.
Yeah.
So you would just never need that many
Yeah.
positions. But a lot of our customers across the country have had a lack of employees. No
Sure.
one applies
Oh.
for a job.
This is one of the most talked about subjects,
Yes.
right? Is just the lack of people wanting to work. Let's back up a little bit. Tell me a little bit. We'll get to SEIBU in a moment.
Okay.
But tell me a little bit about KGK.
So KGK, we're the importer of SEIBU. KGK has been around for numbers and numbers of years. We left America maybe 20, 25 years ago,
Okay.
and then we came back in 2015.
Okay.
So-
In what lines are you selling?
Kent, SEIBU, and then we're selling Mandeli on the Northeast, Shibora, a couple other lines.
Yeah. So, we've been through COVID. Maybe we're in a recession. There's inflation going on. But what are you seeing in general in the market? People buying machines?
Oh my gosh, yes. People are, I get quote after quote, inquiry after inquiry. Everywhere I go, people are just busy. I would say the biggest market that I see right now would be the medical device market is
Yeah.
being really just booming.
Right.
The next aerospace
Sure.
defense.
Yeah.
After that,
And people are telling you they can get all the work they want if they just had the people and the machines.
correct. Gun manufacturing.
Okay.
The only one that I've really noticed that's a little bit slow is automotive die stamping work, building
Yeah.
prog dies for the automotive industry.
Okay, sure.
That seems to be a little slow.
Yeah.
But other than that, the businesses seem to be really flourishing
And
right
people
now.
are pretty optimistic.
Oh, very optimistic.
Yeah.
Not just for today, but for a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. They're getting contract after contract.
Yeah.
So, and the one thing I've also noticed traveling all over the country is everyone's building new buildings or expanding their buildings because they're growing so much. They need that
Yeah.
that space, that extra manufacturing capacity.
I
but
wonder
then
if
that
we're
employees.
yeah. I wonder if we're kind of in a transition from really small job shops to there are going to be less, but they're going to be bigger.
Oh yeah, yeah. I would say that the let's say the traditional mom and pop shop, might be, going away maybe a little bit, but oh yeah, I think the bigger and bigger shops, it's so difficult to find talent
Yeah.
right now.
And that's where a lot of the automation is coming
Yeah.
in, like you were talking about. People are bringing in these Aroa systems with robot handling and other systems. They're just trying to add automation and productivity.
Oh yeah, whether it's Fanuc,
Yeah.
Eroa or Akuma,
Yeah.
all the different brands are adapting to keep that manufacturing
Yeah.
engine alive,
Yeah.
with the lack of employees.
We're at an interesting point in time. Like the demand is higher than ever. This is like a gold rush, in my opinion. If you're in the business and you can execute, then there is again all that you can possibly handle.
Oh, definitely. If your team with your another big is that quality control.
Yes.
If the QC at your manufacturing company has you, dialed in and that you're making that quality, yes, I think that these companies in the future have endless opportunities.
Yeah.
You know, and especially maybe trying to bring manufacturing back to America.
And the only way that happens is through automation.
Automation, yes.
You're not going to do it with labor. One, the labor is not there, and the labor, when you do find it, it's costly compared to what would be overseas.
Correct.
So we have to apply that automation. And so let's talk a little bit about one of your lines that I'm very familiar with, because in full disclosure, I have one, and am super delighted. So talk to us about SEIBU. Like, who is that company, and where did it come from, and why have people not heard about it before?
Well, we were the first ones in 1972 to come out with a full CNC wire EDM. AGI was the first one in 1969 to come out with wire EDM, but we were the first CNC. So
SEIBU invented the first
CNC
wire EDM.
Yeah.
And it was in where?
In Japan.
In Japan.
In Japan in 1972.
Yeah.
So SEIBU primarily has focused on the Asian markets.
Mm-hmm.
So we're really big in China, believe it or not, all over Japan. So in the last, since KGK has been the importer, we've been growing our American market share.
Right.
So the demand that we're getting is increasing greatly. Just quotes, machines being sold, everything. So our factory is at capacity.
Yeah.
They don't have any extra machines. So we found out that.
So are you having to compete? Are you having to compete with them, trying to sell them to other places of the world?
Yes.
And you're like, hey, I need some for America.
Yes, but we just got word. The director of SEIBU was here at the show, Mr. Matsushita, that they're building a new factory, and it should be fully operational by September of 2024 to hopefully double the output of machines. So our biggest market is China.
Okay.
But the factory does not want to just focus on that market, because what if China becomes slow?
It's always risky to have a customer
all your eggs in one
concentration,
basket.
right?
Yeah,
it is. But the machine, I mean, I got to tell you, we took a bit of a leap of faith, right? I didn't really know much about SEIBU. I read what I was able to read, and I was in the market for a wire EDM, and I looked at all the usual suspects. But once I started reading the pedigree, I said, you know what, I'm going to take a flyer on this. And I got to tell you, I'm going to be an evangelist, that I am so happy we did. That machine is freaking incredible.
Yeah, Mitch, I had a shop years ago, okay, and I had another brand of machines. And back in the 90s, Charmy was like one of the top brands, okay? They had the best threader.
Yeah.
Well, all that's, changed now. So with SEIBU...
how long has SEIBU been doing automatic threading?
Oh, for decades. We're on our fourth generation of threader. So with the machine being 100% made in Japan, we don't outsource the parts. Everything is assembled in Japan. We're able to hold the quality of the machine, let's say, to a higher standard. But it's just not those standards. It's the years and years of all the technology in the generator, from all the experience, from years, and it's all built into the machine.
Yeah.
So with our customers, they don't need to buy, let's say, the elite machine, the 1 micron machine.
Yeah.
Most customers in America have a 3 micron machine. Well, they're like, oh, yeah.
You think about that, 3 microns, right?
Yeah. I know. So that's over the entire stroke of the machine. Wow. So let's say if a customer set up, let's say, 15 or 20 different fixture offsets on there, maybe they don't need the 3 microns on the piece that they're doing, but that location all over the table, it's there.
Wow.
So like if you were using, Eroa tooling to hold your parts, or a 3R tooling, to hold your parts, that location is there. So all of our machines will do the same dimensional accuracy and the same surface finish. Okay, it's just from the 3 micron machine to the 2 micron to the 1 micron. We even have a 0.5 micron machine.
0.5 micron.
Yeah.
I mean, the tolerances we're able to hold, the surface finishes we're able to get,
Yeah.
and the repeat, just consistency of the threader working, everything
Yeah.
working, far exceeded our expectations.
And one of the differences.
And by the way, there's a lot of good brands of wire
Oh,
EDMs
yes.
out there. There's a lot of good brands out there.
Yeah.
And we think this is even on the top, though. We think
Yeah.
this is on the top.
with a lot of the brands in the last, let's say, 10 years, 15 years, have switched to linear motors. So we still use ball screws. And what sets us apart, too, is that we hand scrape.
Yeah.
So, like the ball lock anchors are hand scraped.
Yeah.
So we're able to hold those tolerances, okay,
Yeah.
different than the other. Because I think that linear motors have actually really helped machining, okay? On a sinker, okay? That linear motor on there can go up and down so much faster.
Yeah.
Maybe not on a heavy, real
Sure.
heavy electrode, but or on a different machining center. Let's say like a rotor's graphite mill. You know, increase the speeds and feeds to make that electrode. But then, you know, if you're, you know, hard milling a part or something,
Yeah.
and you're going to have like a Yazda machining center, it's
Right.
all ball screw
Yeah, oh, yeah.
machine. So, you know, it's just a different thinking between the manufacturers,
Right.
but with SEIBU, they really only make wire machines.
Yeah.
They aren't making the other, so their concentration
They're
is
not
on
making
that.
sinkers. They're not making
Right.
drills.
Yeah. We make a really high end, like Swiss style lathe.
Yeah.
That's like sub micron, but it's something they only make maybe 10 a month or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And the other thing that I think is interesting is the core stitch technology. The stitching technology.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh, sure. So we have a patent on that.
Mm-hmm.
And so for like a die block punch plate stripper,
Yeah.
on the rough cut, when the wire cuts, it actually slows itself down, and then it welds a 1 millimeter thick weld, maybe 3 millimeters long, to hold the core on. So it allows you to have your operator run other machines. So it'll stitch all those slugs. The traditional way, you'd either have to drop the slug, then the
Yeah.
operator has to raise the Z,
Yeah.
pull the slug out, or you'd have to hold it on with the tab. And then you have to go back and then recut it. It takes a long time. So it kind of almost automates.
It's nice. I mean, it holds
Yeah.
the slug in there.
Yeah.
It doesn't fall through, doesn't damage anything.
Right.
And you just, when you take your part off, you just tap it.
Tap it right out.
And then you take a little emery paper and take it away.
a really, let's say, to help automate,
Yeah.
for the core stitch feature, we have something called core catcher. So it's a piston that mounts to the upper head,
Okay.
and it has a drive pin. So let's say you have 50 cores in a block. So it'll go around after they're all stitched, knock the core into a basket, and then the basket will go to the upper right-hand corner of the machine,
Yeah.
dump those cores out, and then keep running.
Wow.
Now let's say there's a core that's too big.
Yeah.
Well, the software knows that it's too big,
big.
and it'll skip over it, finish the other ones. So maybe your operator in the morning only has 1 core, 2 cores to knock out, finish the skim. So it allows it for the machine to run, 24 hours a day,
Yeah.
to get the utilization out of your machine.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. And so, how do you? So, SEIBU comes to the. So, one of the things that we're doing is we're working on. We're thinking about stories and content creators and marketing and getting the word out. All right. So you come to America with this incredible machine, and everybody is like, "Who's SEIBU?" So, what did you do? How do you make sure people know this machine is out there?
It's very difficult.
Yeah.
On a brand that's not known, in America. So it's not, let's say, code calling or everything. It's actually knocking on people's doors, showing them sample parts, offering to do test cuts, for the customers. Hey, look at, maybe a shop has a really difficult part for their machine, and here, we could cut that part for you. Let us show you, that our machine, is better. I think with the all made in Japan too, to really stress that aspect of it, because a lot of manufacturers now are making machines in China, or maybe outsourcing the parts to China. So only their elite models are made in Japan or made in Switzerland, where the lower models are made, so the quality for EDM just isn't there.
So that's a good question for people to ask if they're looking at wire EDMs, is just ask where it was made, right?
Yes.
That's a good qualifying question.
Yeah, because people think that all wire EDMs can cut to these incredible tolerances. Well, if it was just like a punch, maybe with the offsets, some of the other brands, but if you're going to cut, large parts, intricate parts, that's where the different, quality of the machine, that craftsmanship really come into play.
So when I think about price, okay, I get it. It's made in Japan. It's high quality. It's super accurate. It's got those great features. How is it compared to the other brands in the market?
Okay.
Price-wise.
Right. So we're very competitively priced. Okay. So
it's not going to be double.
No. Actually, our 1 micron machine, which is a 14 by 20 travel, there's really only one other manufacturer that even has a machine. It's not as accurate as that, but their machine is quite a bit more money than ours.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're actually.
So it's good value.
Oh, it's a very good value.
Yeah. And what control are you putting on it?
Okay. Well, right now we have a FANUC Smart NC control on there. So in the past, we had our own control. The machine outlasted the control. All the customers were mad. So we're using a FANUC control with our software and FANUC servos, because 15 years, 20 years, 30 years from now, you can get a FANUC repaired or replaced.
True.
And it's not like a proprietary board that a lot of other manufacturers use. They might not have. They stop supporting it. It's very expensive. So that aspect,
Yeah. We've got about a minute and a half left, so I want to ask you one important question. Is there any innovation left in wire EDM? Is it going to get any better? It seems like it's so good right now. What does the future look like?
I'm not sure if the speed will ever increase.
Yeah.
Now, maybe for 3D metal printing, cutting off that technology, but people have a misconception. Speed does not equate to high accuracy in wire EDM.
No.
So I don't know if that jump will ever come.
Yeah.
I think it's just making the machine better, less wear parts, less maintenance for the operator.
Easier to use,
but less maintenance.
Yeah.
Run for much longer times.
Good deal. Okay, we're going to wrap it up. Greg, you and I could talk for hours, and there's so much more. Well, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it.
I enjoy every time visiting your company. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's Mitch Free, IMTS 2022. Follow the hashtag #WeAreAllCreators.
A fantastic interview facilitated by Mitch Free with Greg Weirich, Regional Sales Manager at KGK SEIBU. I am here in the Nerve Center of the Industrial Studios Creators Lounge. Ooh, so much wonderful tech back here, making everything flawless. We have an amazing team. And because we have such an amazing team, we are going to take a little break. So why don't you go ahead, head to the kitchen, make a sandwich, but don't turn off the stream. We will be back in half an hour with more amazing interviews.